Hello and welcome to Testimonies with T. I'm your host, Tia Costel, and today I'm here with Anmari.
Hello.
And thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. So tell me about who you are and what you do.
So I'm Anmari. I'm composer, multi-instrumentalist and vocalist.
Wow.
So basically I'm a Christian artist. Summarizing this.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. And are you doing anything else at the moment, or are you just...
So I'm finishing my studies still.
Wow.
I'm doing a master degree in piano performance.
Wow.
So everything is around music.
That's amazing. Where are you doing that?
LCCM, it's London College of Contemporary Music.
Wow.
It's like a contemporary small college.
Amazing. Wow. And how's it all been going? The music and everything?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very blessed.
Wow.
I met a lot of amazing people and people who really helped me to create my artist identity.
Yeah.
And really dig into my faith with music, which it's a big blessing really. This year was incredible.
Wow, that's so beautiful. So let's take it back to young Anmari. Like, talk to me about your upbringing and like your childhood. What was that like?
I'm Polish. I'm from Poland. So I just moved recently to London just for studies. 4 years ago. I was very blessed because I was raised in Christian family, in Catholic family. Faith was always there. I come from very big family. I have 5 siblings. I think it was really a huge blessing for me because I always had people around. I think I was raised just to be myself.
Oh, I love that.
Which sounds really like cliche.
Yeah.
But what I experienced, like lots of artists said that, like my family didn't like it.
Support.
Or didn't support. Or, they want me to be like this or like that. And I didn't experience this, which I'm really grateful for.
Yeah.
Like, even small things like, wearing weird clothes, when you explore yourself as an artist. They were like laughing a bit, but they never told me like, take this off, like, what are you doing? Like, in a sense of, there was lots of freedom in my house, which I really love. And even going to London, it's a really big decision. Like, I really didn't know anything. And I just really want to chase my dream. And they didn't say no. They said, like, go.
We support
do it,
you.
like, try.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow, that's such a blessing. And I feel like God really does put us in the perfect household for us growing up. It's such a beautiful thing that you... Like you said, that you were blessed to be raised in a Christian household. What did that look like growing up?
So, because my parents are really involved in church communities, I was as well as a teenager. But then, as it happens, my faith became quite automatic. So, Sunday church. Yes, click, checked, which is, I think it's a danger, right? In the sense of, it's beautiful to be raised in that family. It's such a big blessing, but at the same time, I felt like I'm lukewarm, I do it because it's tradition. I think Poland is also very traditional, so it's really rooted. So then my faith got really automatic and
routine.
Routine, exactly. Then when I was 19 years old, last year of my high school, I had a big breakdown in my faith. So basically I went through a really difficult period in my life.
So what got you to that 19-year-old Anmari in terms of that feeling and everything that you were going through during that time, I guess?
I was involved in church communities and I still did music, but I was studying classical music.
Okay. Wow.
So basically I graduated classical percussion instruments. I don't know if someone is familiar, but it's like xylophone and marimba, and you play with sticks.
Wow.
I played a bit of drums as well, but that was my main focus. So, I was just I thought I'm gonna go classical music, super serious.
Wow.
And everything actually changed. I started composing when I was 16 years old, and I think from that moment as well, I was always quite high sensitive person, but from then I think when you start really embracing all that is going on in your life and you're putting on paper and show and sing to people, it's even more sensitive. So in a sense I think I started to just perceive my life more deeply.
Like look at it more deeply.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think I got just to the moment, like there were some things in my life that weren't happening as I wanted to. And I think that the really big thing that was started to killing me in this process was that I want to be really perfect. So also because my family was Christian, it looked very beautiful on the picture, but it's always like every family, like I love my family, no one is perfect, and that is okay, but I didn't know that back then. So I had this feeling I need to be perfect, like no one can know about my weaknesses.
Okay.
You know, so
what was your relationship like with your like parents and family?
I think like as average family, like very beautiful. My parents are very hardworking, so I was just like admiring their hard work, and like you know you see like all of they achieved is like amazing. But I mean I think in every family there are some like things that are happening. And I think because I got really to this suddenly like okay, like I need to be perfect. I don't like I just you know I had in my head like I need to be perfect. That's what was killing me, I think.
Like the pressure of it.
Like the pressure of it. And you know the truth is that the only person that is putting the pressure on you is yourself. So I think and I began to like really be like closed, you know, and because this perfection was really killing me, and the same was with faith, you know, I need to be perfect Christian, and it's such a wrong way of thinking, because we as a like you know God says, come to me like with your burden. I come to heal you sinners. Like I don't need perfect people. That's why I chose you, because you're so weak.
Amen.
So I can embrace my power through you. So I think that was really like killing me. And then I so many beautiful things was happening in the high school. I had like an amazing concerts, you know, good grades and stuff. But then because, you know, like even daily things, but some like difficult, I don't know, some relationships that was quite toxic, or I at that time I didn't really love myself. I didn't really like how I'm looking and all this stuff. And I was just like, so like these little things that they all together like
was big.
It was like way too heavy, like, you know, carry on my own. Then at the end I was just like I fall so much down with it, like with this heavy luggage on my shoulders, and I was just like I can't walk anymore, like literally. So I got like really low in terms of like mental health, and like I really struggled even to like go out and all this stuff. So
you were
like,
quite isolating yourself.
because I really like there was this hate in me, and like hate for like myself, hate for like the world, life, like it was really like darkness.
What was your relationship with God at that time then?
So because I was in a Christian family, I was going to church, but it was such a disintegration myself. Remember, I was even telling my mom, like, God left me, you know, and I was like sad and like disappointed and angry. Like I was like, where are you, God? Like I'm feeling like this, I'm so low, like he left me, he doesn't care and all the stuff. And that wasn't true. He was always there. I was like so focused on myself and so focused on this negative things that I was just like, I wasn't even asking God for help in a sense. I was accusing him.
Okay, wow.
So just like, you left me, like you don't care, like I'm alone, I'm crying here, you know. And the truth is, I made myself alone because I was closed. I didn't want to share anything with anyone. You know? He gave me an amazing friends, but still I was just like, no, like I have to be perfect.
So you wasn't talking to them about it?
I wasn't. So there was this really like huge sickness in me, and so I received a huge grace, because then God, I always say like he kicked me out to London, because like, okay, Anmari, we end this, like what's going on with you, like go to London. So like kicked me, and I was like so when I came here
so before you came here you were in that like mental battle.
Like really, like, you know, it's like this classic stories, but like, you know, I was partying a lot, like smoking, all this stupid stuff going on, and I was just like, I was looking for a love in the wrong places. I was looking for a love that cannot be fulfilling.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I was feeling myself so much with all these lies. I'm a woman, right? I'm not sure, but I think so many women, like, they struggle with how they look and like to love themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that was like also a big thing. I was trying to kind of lie to myself that I love myself, and then I was looking for love in this like wrong places. I was looking for love in wrong places.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, I was digging the hole and like, and then I was like, God, you left me. Whereas I wasn't even looking for him. Now I'm realizing this, you know? So I was like accusing God, and I wasn't even seeking him. I was just like, you're like, you left me. And then
that's so interesting, actually, like you saying that, because it's so easy for us to go into victim mode and, like you said, blame him and be like, why have you left me? Yes. But actually we're not even asking him, Lord, I need your strength. Lord, I need you by my side. And he's always there, but it's that relationship, isn't it?
Yeah, actually I'm realizing that I was like this, you know? And God is always there even when we struggle, but yeah, I had this wrong mechanism. And I think it's all about the relationship. Like, God knows you're struggling, but if you can't open your heart, if you can't open the door for him, he will not come in.
Yeah.
So that's what was happening with me. And then he kicked me out to London. I was still like, oh, let's party, let's go, you know, like London life. And then, but then pandemic came. Actually.
Okay. Oh, so you were here during the pandemic?
Yeah. So pandemic came, and you know, everything was shut down. So I was like, I had no choice. You know, I had to calm down, kind of.
Yeah. But can I just take it back for a second and talk about, so then the process of coming to London? Obviously, you said your parents were really supportive in that process. Were you applying for like universities just in London, or were you applying for universities also like in Poland as well? Like, what was that whole process of then coming to London in terms of
So when I switched from classical to contemporary music,
what made the switch?
I think I just began composing, and when I was 16 years old, and I think also I realized that classical music it's also such a niche, but you have to be really like almost a genius to live from it. So I knew that I don't wanna play in orchestra, which is not necessarily bad. Like, it's beautiful and people love it. And I knew, like, because maybe I'm not like super like extremely like well from it, like genius, like really on a high top level. I don't want to be like, you know, in orchestra or teaching. Like, now I see this different. Like, I think teaching is so beautiful. You have so much impact on someone. Like, you can really give them wings and faith. It's so beautiful.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, and like orchestra as well is nice. But then I didn't think like this back then. This composing thing came up, and I was like, oh, I would actually love to do like switch to contemporary music. I began playing piano when I was 6.
Wow.
Since I'm 6 years old, and then I stopped because of classical music, kind of.
Okay.
Like, I slowed down. And then I came back to piano again, and I wanted to like sing. Coming back to studies, I knew that there is no contemporary really studies in Poland.
Okay.
There was only classical music or jazz.
Oh, so that's what Poland's pretty much known for in terms of its music.
I mean, now it's really developing. So the contemporary industry is much more stronger. There's lots of potential there. Back then, I didn't really see any chance. Like, if you don't have contacts or whatever, like, I didn't see studies like this. Here, I had the opportunity to study contemporary music as a like songwriting.
Wow.
And I don't know, I was just like really drawn to London. It was like such an artistic city, and I heard so many, because my friend was there as well, and I heard so many just good opinions, like, oh, there's so many opportunities, so many like doors open, like you can do so much. And that was so true, because I remember when I came here, because in Poland I was so stressed about music, like, how am I gonna do this, and like, it's so hard. And then I remember I came to London, and my eyes were literally like open. I was like, wow, I can do so much. There's so opportunities, you know. And I was just like so relaxed.
Wow.
It's crazy, because I remember when pandemic was, and I had to go back to Poland for like a few months because everything was shut down.
Yeah, of course.
I remember when I came back to Poland, I was like, again, like, I have nothing, like, you know, there's no future in music, like, and stuff like this. And then again, I came here, I was like, no, there's so much you can do.
Wow.
So it's like really crazy how mindset can also impact you, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like mindset can really like make a difference, can't it? But also I think that's so interesting that even when you went back to Poland that you felt that same feeling again.
Yeah.
And I think that's so interesting because sometimes we are called to go and we are called to leave, and I feel like in that moment, especially him bringing you to London, you were called to leave.
Literally really amazing how when we trust God, if he really, like, when he wants something, it's happening. Like I think it's quite insane because I didn't apply anywhere in Poland, you know.
Wow.
I was so, like, I love the music and I was so certain that I want to do it. Not in a, like, don't get me wrong, I wasn't certain if I get the place in London, but I just applied. I remember this the way I was thinking.
Yeah.
I applied to 3 unis in London that I wanted to study at. And that was it. I don't know what I'm gonna do if I don't get the place. Yeah. But I know I don't wanna do anything else. I don't wanna have any, like, kind of, maybe it's wrong, but I was like, I don't want any options. Like, that's what I love. I really.
This is what my heart desires. Yeah.
It's like I really want to put all cards, like, on table. I just want to follow this, you know.
Wow.
I know many people would just, like, because they're afraid of, like, skirting will not work out, they just, like, have these options and give up, or, like, do this, like, more secure studies.
Yeah.
And I didn't want, like, I think it's, like, quite also, like, maybe brave.
Yeah, but bold in faith as well, because you had faith in it.
Yeah, it's. I was so happy when I found out. And
wow.
And now as I think about it, it's quite crazy that I'm here. Because I think for British people it's different, but for me, it's because I'm from another country. As I think about it, it's like such an abstract that I'm actually here. Yeah, doing what I love. Like it's such a blessing.
So then where did the shift happen when you came to London? Obviously, you were in this place still. You were partying when you got here. Yeah. Talk us through that then, and then obviously then seeking Christ then more deeply, I guess.
Yeah. When I came here, I was still, like, partying, and then everything shut down because of pandemic. And, you know, it's such a huge blessing because in this enormous city, which is London, literally, like, on right side, maybe 2-3 minutes, there was, like, Polish church, and on the left side was, like, English church. I was like, oh wow, okay, so, you know, I was living so close and everything was shut down, and I was just, like, started going, and then my heart was slowly changing. And, you know, some people have this moment in their life that they're just like, oh yeah, Holy Spirit struck me that day and I completely changed. Like, that was not me. I was converted day by day for the whole year. So I made this decision. I was like, okay, I don't want to be sad anymore. I don't want to feel like this anymore. I want to be happy. I want to follow God. And I made this, like, very conscious decision that I want to change my life. So I started going to church, when I started reading the Bible, I started praying, I started working on myself in sense even of my mindset. I did, like, a course book for an artist, and it was such a blessing because also, like, this book, and I think with the grace of God, I just, like, cut out all the toxic relationships and, like, stuff that were, like, really destroying me. So it was, like, really hard work, you know, on my own and on myself to change. And with grace of God, he changed me so much. And when I was in Poland, I get to Polish community, and I, you know, because I closed some door, in sense of maybe people who weren't just good for me that time, or, like, some toxic relationships, I opened the door for new people that could nurture me and, like, get me closer to God, which I found really beautiful, because I felt like I was in that period that I was really afraid of closing something, you know. You have, like, sometimes we're so afraid of losing something, but if we let things go, then
it makes more room.
Things to come in, you know?
For sure.
It's so important.
Yeah, no, but it's like you said, it's one of the scariest things to do sometimes, to, like, let it go or close that door.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly. Once I heard, like, such a beautiful quote, and it was like, when God opens the door, no one closes it. But when He closed the door, no one opens it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's what happened with me. Like God's kind of helped me to close the door as well. And then He opened a new for such a beautiful friendships that actually were helping me to love myself.
Wow.
You know? And I found it such a beautiful thing actually when I think about it, because I was struggling a lot to love myself. I was like this big hate in me. And then I got this friend who was telling me, I remember all the time, like, you're like so beautiful, you're worth it, like, you know, you're wise, like you're smart, in a sense of like just
pumping life into you.
Yeah. And I remember I was because I was so destroyed inside, but he was telling me so many times, I was just like, stop, like I got so annoyed, like, stop telling me this.
Yeah.
But then I realized that it was such a blessing, because he was just like breaking the wall.
Wow, that's such beautiful imagery.
And then it finally got broken. I remember once, like, when I heard it, I was just like, you know, tears in my eyes.
Yeah.
And then it really shocked me, because I realized that, wow, I didn't believe that. What's that? Like, you know, I was telling that you're so beautiful. I didn't want to receive it.
Because sometimes when our heart's that hard, we can't even hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's all about opening heart. You know? So it was so powerful. I think what really shifted my faith as well was God really taught me to be grateful for all the little things that are happening in my life, but also honesty. Honesty is so important. Like, we sometimes even pretend, at least me, in front of myself or in front of God, but God knows you so much better than yourself. You know, so there is no point really in pretending, like no point at all. So the really big moment of my conversion was when I went to the church. There was like adoration. I went there and I knelt down in front of God. And I said, God, I can't love myself. Please help me to love myself. And I was just crying, you know.
Wow.
And I feel like that was so genuine and so vulnerable. And I really opened the door.
Wow.
And because I said it out loud, I felt like God said, like, okay, finally you let me to come in. I can help you, you know.
Wow.
So yeah, I still remember this one. I still
so
remember
clearly.
Like, the church, like, you know, like, because it was, like literally, I remember I was like kneeling it down, like, you know, tears. I can't love myself. Help me, you know. It was like a little child, I think.
Yeah, and they say about being childlike, don't they?
It's like really like so honest, like so brutally honest. And from that now on, like everything changed.
Wow.
Like God really sent people who taught me how to love myself.
Wow.
He taught me to accept everything that is going on in your life, everything, how you look, how you are, just like accept it. Like you're not perfect, but you're beautiful.
Yeah. Wow.
Being perfect is not being beautiful is being true and yourself and authentic. There is beauty in you, in me, you know, all of us. And that was a big shift in my life. Yeah, when I accepted this, like how I look, how am I, how I behave, everything, that I'm not perfect, then I could love myself truly.
Wow.
But I think this happened in a time, like also it was like, you know, I had to learn.
Yeah, for sure. But do you feel like that moment that you seeked him and was at the altar, it was like he broke the chains? Yeah. Like you said, honesty is so important.
Yes.
Like
sometimes it's really everything.
Yeah.
You're like, you know, I can go to church and say like, Jesus, like, give up everything to you, like, take care. And then I'm just like, go out and I'm so worried, like I'm checking everything all the time, you know?
Yeah.
I remember once when I was like working with kids, I don't know, I was so stressed. And I remember, like, be honest, and I literally was like, you know, my heart beating. And then I stood and I was like, Jesus, I'm so stressed. Like, I didn't pretend, you know, I didn't pretend like, oh, like, yeah, you bigger, like, you take care. Like, of course I know this, but you know, I was very vulnerable. So I was like, Jesus, I'm so stressed. Please come to me. Like, I invite you to my stress. I invite you to my worries, you know, to my fear.
Yeah.
And I remember after this, there's like this huge piece.
Wow.
And this day was amazing. You know what I mean? So in a sense of, just be so honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, so much better. And my faith changed so much when I started being honest. So sometimes even like I'm saying to God, like, I really struggle to trust you. I'm sorry. Like, help me to trust you. Like, in this sense, you know.
No, because that's what a relationship is, isn't it? Like, not withholding information.
Yeah.
And he knows it anyway. But it's about telling him that actually, I'm struggling. Because I think when we process the honesty and we're truly honest with ourselves of how we're feeling, it allows us to then truly seek him. Because if not, we're telling ourselves a lie.
Yes. I think it's so important to live with unity with ourselves as well.
Yeah.
People don't really talk about it. I think when you really know yourself and you accepted everything that is going on and in your past, like, you just have it happen, like, accept it, and this is who you are, this is your story. I think it's so much, your faith is so much.
I think that's what's beautiful, accepting where we're at, but knowing that I wasn't the same person I was yesterday, and I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago, but that's still my story.
Yeah, no, literally, it's so beautiful. And you know, God uses everything in our life.
Everything. Everything.
Because even for me, and I was like hating so much, like, everything that I am, and then he taught me how to love. I remember this little story at my university that I just found one girl just like very beautiful, like simple as that. And I told her, like, oh, you're so beautiful, so pretty. I just wanted to be nice. I think it's just nice to tell people compliments.
No,
like,
for sure.
Just daily, a bit of love. Like, it can change really someone's day. And I remember she was like, oh no, like, stop it, like, or like something like that. No, like, you know, she didn't want to hear this. And I was like, oh, you know, I was like, I know this. Yeah. But like, I'm gonna tell you 100 of times. You know, so I was just like keep telling her, like, she's beautiful.
Wow.
And I remember this one moment when she like, I remember she like stood up and she like looked like very deeply and she said like, thank you. You know, and I knew like
that released her. Yeah. Wow.
So because I experienced this, you know.
You was able to
others.
Yeah.
So it was like so powerful for me. I was like, wow. So now as I look at my life, like everything what happened, even difficult stuff, everything is for a reason.
100%.
Basically after this big change in me, I still like continue to be faithful, to pray, to develop my friendships in Jesus. And I remember I went for like retreat for days, like of silence and meditation.
Oh,
and, like,
wow. And
it was so powerful because like God could work for my heart, you know. And I think like silence is also what we don't really talk about. It's like so healing. Yeah. I feel like God is His love in silence so much for me. You know? In the solitude. God is love in silence, and God is silence in love. Oh, I love that. Yeah. You know, sometimes when we love someone, we can't even really say any words. We love them so much. And I feel like the same sometimes with God, just like spend time with Him in this silence. Wow. He loves you so much. You know, just listen. That's so beautiful, because I think as well, it takes me back to the time when you were talking about see him there, or like you couldn't feel him when you were going through that whole like mental, but it's like he was there in the silence. Like, Wow, that's so beautiful. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, like he's just waiting, you know. This is what I found really beautiful about Jesus. He's such a gentleman. Oh, such a gentleman. He will never push you and make you do anything. Like, it's always your free will, and that's so beautiful. And even when we go through struggles, he's there. Like, maybe sometimes it's quiet, but he's there. And he's just like waiting. He's there in the silence. Yeah. So what's the journey been like since then? Obviously that whole process was a process and a journey to like refinding him. What's it been like since? Obviously you've had a new community of friends and you're in London and now you're doing your masters. What's it been like since, I guess, post-pandemic for you? Yeah, so I came back and I was finishing my studies. I released kind of like an EP. Wow. Yeah, and it was like a little cross on the cover, which for me it was like, I was always kind of in faith, but it was like very delicate, So I had this like peaceful music. And I was, people knew I'm in faith, but I wasn't that clear. Yes, it wasn't like a clear message. It wasn't like bold faith, like, So after this, I went for masters. It was this year. From September. I say it that often, but I remember I didn't want to do this masters. So like,
oh wow!
I'll go for like volunteer. Like I just want to take a break from music because like it's too much for me.
What was making you have that feeling of like it's too much then?
I think I was like just a bit lost, and because I think when you really want to work in music industry and any creative industry, you should have some strategy and some plan. You know, like what am I gonna do? Like I don't know, plan releasing, plan of like content. It's like such a like no business kind of talk, but in a sense of, I think it's important to have aim because then you go like you're trying to achieve something in a sense. Even little daily goals or like monthly goals or like And I think like I was so lost in the music industry and I didn't even have any plan. So it was just like, and I was just physically tired of
it almost felt like overwhelming because it was then like, where do I start with this whole everything?
And I didn't know much back then, so it's just like, oh, I want to take a break. I don't know if music is for me, and like all this stuff. Like,
wow, okay.
And then there was this like competition at my uni, and I made a joke to my friend because I said like, because literally I went for masters, and I said I thought that I'm gonna drop it. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go there, but I think I'm gonna drop it.
Okay. You're like, I'm not gonna do this.
And I feel like also again it's something that maybe someone who is from another country can relate to it, because just basically I felt like when you live in two countries it's so hard, because you have in Poland I have my family, my friends, my life, but here also have community and my friends and like my life, and I feel like also everything is for a reason. Like if I didn't come to London, I don't know who I would be right now. Only God knows. And I feel like he used this time to really shape my faith, and I'm such a different person now. So when I go back home, it's so much different. But so I feel like I was also struggling of like being again in London and like continue this like dual life.
Yes.
You know, it's still a struggle now. Like I'm not gonna lie, because it's just, you know, home is always home. You know?
I bet it's quite difficult to navigate.
Yeah. And I think it's just, even like this podcast made me realize like God wants me here right now. It's my mission. I don't know where I will be in, you know, half a year or in a year or even a few months. Yeah. But this is okay. I think it's okay to let it go, and it's okay to don't know.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And I think especially when you're an artist, and that was what was really healing as well for me. Because I'm that kind of person, like I need to have everything, have perfect.
Yeah, and the control.
And the control. It's so hard. And I was always laughing because people were like, oh, like you trust God so much. And I'm always saying like, literally music and music industry taught me, like helped me to trust God, but I kind of have no choice. Like in a sense I can control my life, I can have like plan B or whatever, but at the end I have to trust God. Someone told me like it's okay to don't know. I was like this, you know, rock just fell off. Yeah. And such a big relief. Because I was like, I realized like, wow, okay. Yeah. I don't know, and this is okay. Yeah. You know, I had so many questions. Oh, what are we gonna do after your master's like status? And I was like, I don't know. Yeah. And I was like, I wasn't ashamed of this answer. You know? I was like, totally
that's such
fine.
A good place to be.
And it really is such a healing. It's so healing.
When you let it go, let go and let God. It just releases so much, because I think that's where the pressure comes from. Yes. When we're trying to control and micromanage everything, we then have the pressures of everything, and it's like God's literally just telling us to let him lead the way. And I think, and that's where that release comes from, doesn't it? Because we're not trying to like tightly control everything.
True. Yeah. And I feel like the more you let it go, the more you trust, like the bigger blessing is.
For sure. The more he opens the doors, and we see the fruits.
So much. I and then I went for my master's, and I made this joke to my friend that because there was like a competition at my uni, and it's not like, I don't want to sound like, oh, who am I, whatever.
Yeah.
So just like I said to him, I joked that, oh, if I win this competition, because it was just like having a bursary for studies.
Oh, wow.
So UK studies are extremely expensive.
Yeah.
Especially when, like, as I think in Poland, it's for free.
Oh, wow.
So for me, being here is like...
It's a massive, commitment.
It's really massive commitment.
Wow.
Exactly. So,
wow, so it's free in Poland?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So I remember once I had this time, I was like, oh, what am I doing for it? I've been studying for free in Poland.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's different because here it's literally... Yeah, it's true that you have so many opportunities here. Like, connections are insane. Like, I met so many crazy people I would never think that I would meet. So for me it was like big, and I thought like, oh wow, okay, one less loan. Would be nice.
Of course.
Because I remember when I came here, it was quite a shock for me that UK, like British people, like it's so natural they have 2 loans.
Yes.
It would never happen in my country.
Wow.
Then I joked to my friend like, oh, if I win this competition, then it is a sign from God that I have to do a master's.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's what happened. I got the bursary.
Wow.
It was like so amazing. It's such a big blessing. I was like, that was like such a clear sign from God for me. Like very physical as well. I think that's also what I learned in faith. It's sometimes God, like in discernment, like He puts peace in your heart, and like, I think He calls me to do it, and you see fruits, and then it's like, okay, this is God's will. But sometimes, and very often actually, God also gives such a physical and real signs, like even this, like He knew I was joking about it, but I was like half joking, half like, if it did happen.
Yeah.
So for me it was such a clear sign, like,
wow.
I want you here, So, and this master's really changed my life. Basically, I learned so much, but also that's the time, actually it's quite recent, but that's the time when I shifted to like officially kind of Christian artist.
Wow, so it was through doing the masters.
Yeah.
Wow, so even more that's like God.
Like it's really insane. And so I had this basically the hype of this competition was that it was founded and judged by Dr. Matthew Knowles, who is Beyonce's dad.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And her like ex-manager.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I took it really seriously. I think that's why also they maybe chose me, because I was like, I'm really serious about this, and I really want this. And I wasn't like really like, hi, I'm here, like this is my song.
Yes.
Like enjoy it or no. Like whatever. And it's like, I was thinking about like how I'm gonna play it, like the arrangement, how I'm gonna look on the stage. I went barefoot, and I remember she said like, I love that you're barefoot, like your music matches to your identity.
Wow.
And also that's a beautiful thing as well. It's like everything is so connected to what we talked about, because I feel like when you really find yourself, you can easily see if artist is authentic of their trying to
of course.
So I think they really saw like I'm so like authentic as well. It's like so raw and organic, but I'm just like myself, like so simple, but it's me.
Yeah, that's so beautiful as well, because like you were saying before, like when you're truly in yourself, actually you're truly in God's will for your life, because you're seeing the gifts and everything that He's blessed you individually with.
Because then it's like, I feel like you're constantly seeking something, like you're going to church, you pray to God, but then you're just like seeking there and like, it's really interesting, because you can be in a church, like physically close to God, let's say, from the third perspective, but then your heart is so far away, and you really don't know yourself, you really don't know God in a sense. I remember once I told my friend, it was funny because like, he was praying for something. And it also made me realize, because I said like, look, if your girlfriend or like if your friend would say like, oh hi, like I want this, okay bye, like oh I want this, okay bye, like, imagine like I was thinking like, wow, this is quite harsh. But it also made me realize that God is not like some lottery. It's like He's your best friend, He's your father, He loves you so much. So like imagine if someone would just come to you every single day,
just asking,
like, hey, can you do this for me? Okay, bye. Like not even asking, how are you? Like
wow, that's so true. I really like that. Yeah.
And God really wants to be he wants you to know him as well.
For sure.
I remember once, like, someone asked this, like, do you really know Jesus? Do you know God? And I was like, wow, you know, it's quite interesting that we can be, I can even be, it's like all about as well me, like, I can be so focused on my own. I feel like, oh, I'm so close to God, but it's all about me in a sense. Like, no, it's also, it's about God.
It's about God.
Yeah. Like, you know, as we talked about, like, sit, like, listen to him, and these simple things, like, get to know him. Like, he created this, like, he created nature. Like,
no, he did all of it, and it's such a beautiful thing to acknowledge that all the time. So what actually inspired then the full shift into then of being like, I'm a Christian artist, I'm going to create Christian music?
So that's why I mentioned about the competition.
Yes.
I was then told, like, oh, maybe don't go too much into Christian music.
Okay.
Limited.
So they told you that in the competition?
I had some chats and all the stuff, and it was like... And then I had a talk with Father Beyonce, I don't know if he knows. It's Holy Spirit, because I showed him one of my songs, Sunshine. And I sing in this song, Sunshine... Where are you, sunshine? I'm waiting for you. You lighten up and sweeten my day. And like how you love me, how I love you. And I remember he was listening to this and he said like, okay, but what is this song about? Like you say, I love you, you love me. Like, what is it about? Can you tell me? And I literally like looked at him. I was like, about God? Literally, when I was thinking about sunshine, I was thinking about Jesus. You know, like he's my sunshine.
He's the light.
He's the light, exactly. So I remember that he was like, oh, okay, you know, and he said like, okay, you know what, like I take everything back, like sort of you should choose between being a Christian artist or being an alternative pop, because he helped me so much. He made me realize that I can't do both. Because if you want to be like strictly pop artist, you know, you go for festivals, people want to just have a drink, you know, just dance, whatever, like forget, and I don't know, like when you're a Christian artist, you know, you want to play in the church, you want to praise the Lord's name, and I felt like for all these years I want to be both. So that's why I was like so much shifting, like people knew like I'm fake, but like I was kind of, you know, very natural. And I wanted to be both, and he made me realize so clearly. And you know, there's this Bible verse, like you can't serve money and God, like mammon, it's in Polish translation. So like some God like in a small G, you know, like Greek God, whatever. Yes. And then and God, so you can't serve money and God. And that for me was like, oh, like I can't really be both. And he was like, you have to choose, like, but also remember that if you choose Christian, it's gonna be limited market, you know, not as big. Like pop has so much more potential and blah blah. And he said like, go with your heart, and you know, you should be authentic, think about it. But I mean, I knew.
You felt it in your heart straight away.
I knew like I can't wait to 4 days to tell him what I knew already. So I was like, you know what, I think I'm fine with limited market, and that it's smaller. I think I can't deny it. Like this is who I am. This is my identity. Like it's too important for me, faith. You know.
Wow.
So I think it was such a big thing in my life that conversation really shifted everything. Because I remember he looked at me like deep in my eyes. He was like, "You're a good person," and I shook hands because. I understand this because he's so like business minded, and fair enough, like he achieved, you know, an enormous things in music industry, and so choosing like Christian music and knowing like it's gonna be so much more limited, like, for everyone could be like, what is she doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like you're crazy. So, but you know. Again, I remember I came out of this meeting. I was like so happy that I like cried out of joy. Like I was so happy. I know, I knew it's gonna be tough, like more difficult, and that's what I'm talking about. That's what's keeping me doing this, because just like this joy and like this peace of like this is who I am. So much more. You know?
You feel like it's your purpose.
Literally, I was like, I'm on a mission. Like, I have a mission. Like I want to spread the beauty of God. I want to spread His love and joy. Like there's so many like sad songs and. Yes, we can relate to them, but because you listen to it, you're more sad, and I felt like yes, like I want to show like we're not perfect with my music, and like we struggle, but there is always hope because like God is so much bigger. His love, His joy, so like don't give up. Like, just keep going, keep walking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like so happy, and I remember after this I really like shifted a lot in my Instagram, and like it was really a clear like shift. So it was quite a shock, I think, for some of my friends and like maybe followers. That was just like so much. They knew I'm a believer, but there was just like so much God, Jesus,
yes,
on my Instagram. My following was like going lower and all stuff. But I knew, like, I took a decision. I was like, no, just go. I had like, there was a battle, you know. I was, because I'm not perfect. I was like, oh, maybe it's not good. Maybe I'm too much. But then I was just like, no, just go. And now I see so many fruits, you know.
Wow.
Like, I'm in the places where I want to be, you know. So like choosing a Christian, if you're like hesitating, choose it, you know.
Yeah.
Choosing a Christian industry gave me so much peace and safety in a sense of I don't have to explain myself.
Wow.
That, you know, like I want to have a cross on my cover, or I don't know, I want to sing Jesus' name in my song, which might sound like, yeah, it's quite obvious, but like no, it's not really. Like, when someone, like when I talk with some managers, or when I work with producers, or you know, stuff like this, they knew I'm a Christian artist. And maybe it's like, label, kind of a box, but in a sense of they knew what's my mission and what am I doing, you know. So this gives so much more like peace as well.
Yeah.
People I'm working with, and like I can just be myself, which is so important. And yeah, I'm so happy that I did, because even like, you know, podcasts like this, I can talk about my faith. Like I could be like pop artist, but would you like invite me here? Like this is so much more for me. Like, you know, sharing faith and like maybe inspiring people to really be faithful and trust God. Because that's the mission I want to be in, you know. And it's like so much more fruitful, and it's really insane. And you know, God is so much bigger, because I remember that after I talked with my director Mafinos, he was giving a lecture on artist development.
Okay.
It was so crazy, because I was there, like people from outside, and it was like on the venue. And he said this thing like, oh, you know, you should be authentic as well. And he said like he began to talk about my conversation with him. Wow. In front of everyone. I was like, literally, I had tears in my eyes, because I realized like God is so much bigger than anyone and anything, all this. Yeah. Really, like, I think it's so easy to forget. Like, Jesus is so much more powerful. Literally. He was talking like how important it is to like be authentic. And he said like, I'm a pop artist, but then he showed like, he saw how big the love of God is in me, and it became quite obvious that I'm a Christian artist, you know? And he didn't have to say this, but he said it, and like, you know, about the love of God. And well, literally there sitting, and I remember after this day, like my whole life was like because as we say, like, I was a believer, I was doing music, but being radical it's such a different aspect, like, of your life. Like, being, when you decide to be radical in your faith, like to be really like Christian, like not like, oh, okay, I'm gonna like go to church once a week, or nice, but like really proclaiming the word of God. Choosing to be with him every single day. It's so much like powerful and so much different, like so much more fruitful. Wow. It's really amazing. Wow. So here I am now, and and I'm doing now a lot of like Christian music, and I really dig into like Christian industry. And it's really beautiful to see, and I think there's so much more we can do in UK, in Europe, because I think it doesn't really exist that strongly. But what is beautiful, since I chose God, He's like putting all of this Christian around me, which is so beautiful. Like, even, like talking to you. I remember I sent one producer reached out to me from some really cool studio. He just wanted to get experience. I'm like, wow, this is an amazing opportunity. And he was like, yeah, I can like record your song. And you know, I sent him 3 songs. And also that was a blessing of God, because like 2 of them were like, like, okay, like there was like Christian 100%. But then I said to him like, keep walking, which is like totally, like, you know, I see Jesus in it, and he chose this one. Wow. Like, okay. You want this.
It's affirmed. Yeah.
This is like what God wants. So it appeared like the producer is Christian, you know, and it's, I had no clue. And it's stuff like this, like when we trust God, He puts the right people into the place.
100%.
And, you know, I made a choice, but then it was still, it's always like, you know, it's hard to be Christian in a word, you know, because you're like a weirdo.
I know, for sure.
And but I say always it's good to, you know, weird.
Exactly.
Just be yourself.
Yeah.
But then I felt like God helps you, even if you're like, I think it's important to say like, God, I really want to choose you, but I'm a bit of afraid, or like I'm scared, like really help me. And you know, even this producer, he chose this song, and it really shifted me so like clear now, because then we like did another Christian song, and like, okay, like now let's do this Christian EP or whatever.
Amazing.
It was so beautiful, because I feel like also God helped me. It's like, I know you want it so much, but like I know you're like a bit scared. I'm gonna help you. Like
I'm gonna ease you.
Yeah. Like I will give you right people around. So that's what I found really beautiful. Like,
wow.
Such a gentleman.
Literally. Oh, that's so amazing. I'm like, honestly, it's so beautiful to hear your story and just the journey that He's took you on. Is there any final words and encouragement? Anything, could be anything.
Say you're never alone. Remember, always keep your friends close and share with them when you struggle. And be always honest with yourself. God, He really cares about you. He really loves you. Just you're never alone.
Amazing. Oh, well, thank you honestly so much for being here today.
So much.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Thank you.